Yeah, it's been a short time to reflect, but just a mix of emotions. Obviously, after the game was tough. Yesterday was tough, but I was able to get together with the guys and our wives and made me feel better. We were just sharing stories and just being together helped and talking about it. It's been hard, but there's so many good moments, so many good memories of this season, and just very proud of this group.
I don't know if you're at a place to look forward yet, but where do you see you guys at as an organization going into now next season? I know you said after the game you felt like this was a mistake, the organization was going back.
Yeah, obviously I've only really thought about what we just went through, and for me, even probably one of the best experiences in my career. Hardest experiences, but and it sucks that there was no reward, but it was a great experience to find out a lot about myself and our team and playing in these. I think the last 13 games since I was injured, we played against playoff teams and teams that we were fighting with for positioning and until Montreal, right, in the last two games of the year. So it was very intense and very demanding and a lot of fun, but I found out a lot about our group and felt like it was a great experience for myself.
The interview you did with Ken, that's Eric a bunch, Ken Daniels, about the ring, the inscription, the team stuff, the family stuff, the wives bringing the women and the whole group into it. I know it's tough to say, okay, this is that step for this group, but when you look back at that era, it wasn't easy for a while. It was, the dead wings and then 42 years. Can you at all compare everything that championship group went through, and maybe look and say, you're getting close to taking that step?
I think we're much closer than we have been in my career, and I can't tell you, right? We missed the playoffs this year. I would love nothing more than to win a championship, but we got to get in the playoffs, and it starts with that. And I'm pretty sure at some point I asked for meaningful games in April, and we got that, and we came up short, but now it's about how we get in, and then going from there. There's going to be, you look at the teams that have been doing it. Boston last year wins a President's Trophy and record-setting year, and they're out in the first round. It's really hard, and I would have loved to have that opportunity to be in the playoffs, but we got to keep building this thing to get there and then stay there, and ultimately that's up to Steve and his job to do what he feels necessary to get us there and stay there.
I mean, teams to be successful need star players. How much does it need to have seen Lucas specifically, the way he laid down the stretch? I mean, those were some statement goals, clutch goals in just a crucial time, so you guys needed to win.
Yeah, they were, and he was really good. He was emotionally, just physically, he did it all down the stretch for us, and he was in it and wanted to win. He willed us to win, and I think, like I said about myself, it was the experience down the stretch was great for me. It's great for Lucas as well, and that's great for our team. And seeing what he's made of in these big games was very impressive to me. That Pittsburgh game in particular. Yes, he scored the big one against Montreal and then in overtime, but that Pittsburgh game he dominated, and we needed him to, and he kept going, scored a hat trick, and was the best player on the ice in my opinion. So it's just it was great to see, and I think just moving forward, we got to have that fire from. It's hard to do it all 82 games, but I'm expecting bigger things from him next year.
Just from a personal standpoint, can you reflect on your own growth this year? You missed 14 games, and it seemed like there's probably a lot of other games where you've been playing hurt. And just how much do you feel, how big a step do you think you took this season?
Yeah, it was probably one of the most difficult years of my life, and I don't like to talk about it too much, and I thank you guys for respecting that, but there was times where I don't know, I was going through it and felt like I needed space, or the guys were so good to me, and maybe I wasn't able to be the best or really be myself with all the things going on, but I think the guys were so good to me, and my wife was really strong for me to allow me to come back and focus on hockey, and the last month really just give it all I had, and that means a lot to me to be able to sit here and say that through that and through injuries, I gave it all I had, and I hope that was contagious for the other guys, and I felt like it was, and the guys appreciated that.
Dylan, Patrick Kane, after the game, was talking about how, last summer it was all we have, this one, it's like you can train an athlete again, and then he said, as a player, you always want to get better, and, he's a first ballot Hall of Fame, right? And you have a guy like that at his age still saying you always want to get better. I mean, using your word infectious, like how huge is that? I mean, that Kane still wants to get better.
It is. Ever since he's come in, I think guys have noticed that right away. He's all of his accomplishments. He's still a student of the game. He loves the game. He's out there after practice, trying to get better, and we've talked about it a lot this year. But just seeing that, just having him around, having him interact with the guys has been so special, and speaks to his character and how good of a professional he is.
There was a little bit of an adjustment early on. Like, it's like, man, that's Patrick Kane. I mean, in the locker room and on the ice and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, I do, and credit to him. I think he is just very down to earth, and I don't think there's, when a superstar comes in, he was just so approachable and so kind with whatever in his time and wisdom. I saw him talking to a lot of players one-on-one many times, and that means a lot to the guys. So I think there was an adjustment, even myself probably trying to throw pucks at him and let him do something special, but off the ice he was just so approachable and down to earth. It was truly great having him.
Dylan, could you give me your impressions of Simon Edmondson and what he could mean for this franchise moving forward?
Yeah, I was very impressed again. When he came in and his approach was really good to see. He was very mature and how he prepared, how he analyzed his game, how he feels like he still wants to get better. He's excited to take this experience and work on things this summer. it was just, you know, and then obviously on the ice, he's, I really liked how he was all in for us, and the offense wasn't there. He didn't try and force anything. He just wanted to come in and play solid defense, and he can do that. And I know with how he played in Grand Rapids and you know, that Toronto game, he has the offensive upside that can really change our back end and change the future for this franchise. And I'm excited for him, and I'm excited for our team because of him.
Dylan, follow up on what Brad asked you. Your first season, you made the playoffs. This year, you had at least 1 foot in the door, if not almost your entire body. Can you compare similarities and differences between these two teams specifically? Maybe, you know, obviously they're different, I understand that, but what did you see from your first year team that you saw in this year's team, and maybe some of the things that need to improve upon?
That's kind of hard, you know. We had my first year. We had, you know, the guys that had been here and won, and we had gone into that season. We expected to make the playoffs, and it was a grind to get. I think we backed our way in on the last day of the season, and there was never panic. There was never any doubt that we weren't getting in. It was like many fans, and you know, we put the 25 straight years of playoffs on the ice, and I knew that was probably not the smartest thing for karma, but I don't know. That's a different group. This group we had this year was exciting and fun to be around, and we had a hunger that you know, if I'm kind of spewing, but the first group, first year, we expected to get in, the older guys, and this year we fought for it, and we came up short, but it was a lot of fun along the way.
Do you ever allow yourself to think about side on Edmonton fair enough?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, that'd be special. I mean, anytime you get two guys over 6'5", you know, out there together, it's exciting, especially with the way both of them can move. But you know, I think just having them play together, or both of them on the ice for the whole game, is huge for our team.
Dylan, if Dylan Larkin of today could go back in time and talk to D-Boss, 14-year-old D-Boss, and tell him that Patrick Kane would be his teammate one day, how would he have reacted?
Probably wouldn't believe you. You know, he really wouldn't, and you know, I think it's hard to think about, really.
Dylan, this is your.
The international hockey coming up next year, that's on us. There's been talk about management saying, hey, worlds are more important. I'm curious if you've thought at all about that with Team USA or anything like that for that tournament this spring.
I just, the last couple days, or yesterday really, was the first time. I mean, really have to see where my body is, and see some doctors today and do our, you know, exit physicals, and see how that goes. I haven't ruled it out, but you know, it's really a health thing.
Dylan, this is your second straight year being nominated for the King Clancy. Can you just speak to that nomination and what that means to you?
Yeah, it means a lot. And that day we had a few weeks ago on the concourse here at LCA, with the, you know, our athletes from the Special Olympics coming in, it was to see my teammates out there supporting me and the athletes. It was pretty special, and you know, something I hope we can do more of. And you know, as the captain of the team, I think it's good to be in the, you know, doing things in the community, just set a good example for our players and for young kids and around Detroit.
Dylan, there's been a lot of talk about growth, obviously, this season. I wonder how you've seen Derek grow in that head coaching role these last 2 years, and maybe his voice as well? I don't know.
I think Newsy's, he's one thing that's I really respect about him and like about him as a coach is he's always pretty even keeled, and he's got you know, he's demanding, but he knows how to get the best out of each guy, I believe, and whether it's different or the same, I mean, I think he's just really always the same, even keel, and you know what you're going to get, and I respect that.
Looking ahead to next year, to what extent do you feel able to build directly on the excitement you talked about with this group versus having to start fresh again with a new season?
Can you repeat that?
To what extent do you feel like you can build on the excitement you talked about with this year's group looking ahead to next year versus having to start all over again in the new year?
I think for the guys coming back, we have to. This has to fuel you, you know. This has to. It stings, you know, and for the first time in a while, guys aren't leaving right away. You know, we usually have guys flying home to Europe or wherever today, and for me, I haven't thought. I was all in on hoping that we would make the playoffs, and now I'm trying to get healthy and back to work, and I don't really have interest in a vacation or anything. So the momentum we built for the guys returning, hopefully there's a hunger there all summer, and you know, a little bit of anger and hurt from what we just went through. Hopefully it's there for them all summer. I know it will be for me.
You guys have some key free agents this summer. Are you someone that gets some guys' ears, tries to recruit, or do you stay away and have that?
Not too much. I mean, ultimately it's up to Steve what he decides to do. So I just you know, stay out of it really. Thank you guys. Thanks for everything.
Thanks, Alan.